Exactly what I've been telling you. Oh my goodness. So unless you've been living under a rock, you're well aware that Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump have been going head to head. Okay, they've been going at it. And this is all due to, the potential possibility of this allegedly going into war with Iran, okay, at the behest of Israel, to stop the alleged, the nukes. That's what we have to stop, okay, even though they've been saying that for quite some time. Nevertheless, Tucker Carlson is saying that, Trump is complicit in this war, and this is potentially, the end of America first. Now, we all know Donald Trump, and Donald Trump doesn't take too kind to criticism. And in response, Donald Trump calls him, cuckoo Tucker, I believe that's what he calls him. And then, when asked about it, he says that, hey, he should get a network, okay?
Tucker Carlson criticizing you, saying that you were complicit in the war.
I don't know what Tucker Carlson is saying. Let him go get a television network and say it so that people listen.
And quickly, have you spoken to Zelensky before your bylaws?
Damn. He should get a network. He doesn't know what he's saying. And I find that interesting because it's hilarious because they were all about the memes and they were all about the podcasters and they were all about this alternative media which they used to promote Donald Trump, especially in his first term and even more so in his second term, thanks to Elon Musk, who was, I would argue, who was definitely promoting and giving certain eyes to certain propaganda, right? This is why he comes out and says, hey, without him, Donald Trump wouldn't have won the election. I would have loved to dive a little bit deeper into what that meant. Like, I'm surprised, how has Congress not brought Elon Musk for questioning in front of the Senate or something? Like what? Like, what do you mean he wouldn't have won without your help? Can you expound a little more on what that means or like how that manifested itself, especially given that, you had a platform, a social media platform that they allege swayed the election last time, with Russia. So I'm just curious, what do you mean by that? But we saw how that story died off real quickly. We saw how the story when Elon Musk said that Trump was in the Epstein files, how that died off real quickly. And I find that interesting. Call me crazy, call me conspiracy theory, but I find that interesting how we went from Trump's in the Epstein files to, hey, let's go to war with Iran.
He's out of line, but he's right.
I don't know. There's a lot of questions that were being asked during that moment in time where now it's just, there's a bigger story, okay? There's a bigger story. If it bleeds, it leads. Let's go to war with Iran. Let's see, they got nukes and yada, yada, yada. But that being said, you have Tucker Carlson, who has recently come out and said that, Fox News is nothing more than propaganda for the elderly. That's all it is.
So what is that? That's not by popular acclaim. That's not like their viewer surveys. Like, we need a lot more Mark Levin. Less Jesse Waters, more Mark Levin. Mark Levin! What they're doing is what they always do, which is just turning up the propaganda hose to full blast and just trying to, knock elderly Fox viewers off their feet and make...
Now, I hate to be that guy. That's a lie. I love to be that guy that says, I told you so, okay? I've been saying this for quite some time. And I find it interesting that it's always once they get off of television, once they get off of these networks, that's when the truth comes out. Because all these people, whether it's Candace Owens, Fox News, or anyone on Fox News, Laura Ingraham, Jesse Waters, the list goes on, that all these people are talking heads. That's all they are. Okay, you had Candace Owens, who was bending over for Ben Shapiro and the rest of them, the rest of the synagogue, when she was hired by the Daily Wire, putting out, just anti-black rhetoric, saying, police brutality is a myth, putting out her vile, vicious film of Field of Lies regarding George Floyd. She had no problem with that. Now, all of a sudden, she got the boot. Now, all of a sudden, we got to criticize. We got to be more skeptical of Israel. We got to know what's going on. Yada, yada, yada. This is who these people are, bro. Tucker Carlson, another person. He had no problem, doing his goofy laugh on Fox News. This is what they want. That goofy little shtick that he did on Fox News. Now that he's off of Fox News, well, it's nothing more than propaganda. That's what it is. They've taken advantage of the elderly. This is why I'm saying you can't trust these people, okay? You definitely can't trust these people. I find it crazy that people have forgotten that Fox News lost one of the biggest lawsuits ever from defamation, okay? Especially when it came to, they're stealing the election. They are lying to you. You had Alex Jones, who tried to scapegoat lawsuit by saying, hey, it's just entertainment. You had Fox News, if I'm not mistaken, they said, hey, they expect that people don't take them seriously, right? That it was something, the gist of that is essentially the audience is, it's so stupid what they put on TV that no reasonable individual would take it seriously, right? This is what they think of you, okay? This is what they think of you. So I find it absolutely hysterical when you have people who are looking at Fox News, when they're looking at this propaganda, and it just reminds me of the episode I said before of Cash for Gold, where it's a bunch of elderly people who are being preyed on.
Guys with Cash for Gold signs gets you people's unwanted crappy jewelry, which when added to a cable-based shopping network divided by demented old people equals gold.
That's what they do. What do you think when it comes to CPAC? What do you think when it comes to these rallies, these fundraisers? You had people putting on a bandage on their ear at CPAC to stand, I guess, in alliance with Donald Trump. Do you understand how cooked you have to be to do something like that? Do you understand how warped your mind has to be as a part of a cult to put on a bandage, okay, to show your solitude with, Donald Trump? That is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And the great thing about cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is that it comes with monies. That's why. It may not be a lot of monies, but as I said before with Lyndon B. Johnson, is that if they can make you feel, hey, if you don't vote for me, the Democrats are allow black people to rob you. That's what they're going to do. Hey, if you don't vote for me, the Democrats are going to give reparations to the criminals. That's what they're going to do. Hey, if you don't vote for me, hey, your little suburbs is going to be up and gone, just like BLM. They're going to come into the suburbs. They're going to go into Bel Air. They're going to Beverly Hills, and it's going to be nada. It's going to be all gone. Only I can stop that from happening. This is what they've done, bro. This is what they've done. You have people who live in trailer parks. You have people who do not make, $50K a year, who are in fear of BLM tearing down their neighborhoods, or are in fear of Deshaun and Felicia taking their jobs due to DEI. Bro, these people don't even have a college education, and they're in fear of losing their jobs. They're in fear that it's going to be given to a black person because they're black. When has that ever happened in the history of this country? Actually, that's a lie. It has happened. Slavery. Damn. But aside from that, what are we talking about? This is how they rule the American people. Predominantly what I'm talking about is the majority of the white Americans. This is how they rule them, through fear mongering. And since they've been conditioned that way since slavery, right? They've been conditioned. That's why they had, what was it they played in the White House? I forget, Birth of a Nation. They've been conditioned to be stimulated via fear of black people. Oh, the boogeyman. And as long as that boogeyman is still present, they can control them however they want. They can go into their pockets and take their money and do whatever they want. Because now they don't worry about their college tuition. They don't worry about the education. They don't worry about housing. They don't worry about any of that. What they worry about is, hey, am I doing better than the black person? That's it. I could be poor, broken, dumb, but as long as they are telling me that the black person is doing worse, well, that's all that matters.
He's out of line, but he's right.
And this is how they've managed to screw over the country, bro. Through propaganda like Fox News, through the bastardizing of American history. That's how they've managed to control the country. And if people would just wake up, if y'all would just snap out of your conditioning, if you would just unplug from the matrix of your racist programming, we could actually unify and look to heal the country. That's what we could do. We could actually make America great. That's what we could do for everyone. But it seems like there is a concerted effort to avoid that at all costs. And I would just like to know, who is doing this? Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think, whether or not you believe Lucas, or if Fox News is propaganda, CNN is propaganda. How about that? Or if you believe, yeah, now you're starting to get it. now you're starting to understand. Good job, young grasshopper. Like, yes, that's the whole point. This isn't news, it's entertainment. That's how they legally have established it. That's what people need to understand, bruh. There's no difference between BET and Fox News, bruh. There's no difference. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me. Disagreement days are Thursday through Saturday. There'll be a number on screen. You call in and duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think about it, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing.
Guys with cash for gold signs gets you people's unwanted crappy jewelry, which when added to a cable-based shopping network divided by demented old people equals... Go.